If you want to know more about setting up an API for GET, POST, and DELETE requests, then watch my video. Hey everybody, what's up? My name is Fergie and I'm a UX designer based out of London. Let's jump in and get started. We can go ahead and get this connected via API in Bravo. So the first thing you're going to want to do once you've got everything ready is click this share button. Then select base, and you're going to want to make sure that you've turned on private read-only link. That is going to give you this URL that we need to copy and paste into Bravo. So now switching over into Bravo, we're going to be a little bit back and forth between the two as we set these up. From my dashboard, you can see our project that we created right here. Because we had the app icon, we have this lovely icon displayed there. We need to set up that data library. So go ahead and select that from the left-hand menu and then create a new collection. And because we're using Airtable, there is a handy wizard that is going to set this up for us. So this is where we're going to paste in that share URL. Bravo is then going to ask us to enter our API key. Now, don't worry if you're not sure what this is. Basically, you're going to find that in Airtable. So go back over to Airtable, select your little avatar and click Account. And on your account screen, you're going to see this is your API key right here in this purple box. So you want to copy this and paste it into Bravo. And once you've done that, you'll see you have a database set up like these ones I have here. But yours will just contain the GET requests because we haven't yet set up any POST or DELETE requests. So let's go ahead and set up a POST request now for our user accounts. You're going to hit on the blue plus button here, and we're going to first name this. So this is going to be a new user. And you're going to change GET to POST in this drop down. You'll see that also changes it to blue. The first thing we need to put in here is a URL. So we're going to go back to Airtable, and we're going to click on this little question mark in the top right hand corner, and then API documentation from the bottom of that pop-out panel. That is going to navigate us to a screen that looks a little bit like this. And you'll see in the left hand column the names of the tables you have in your database. So because we're wanting to post the user's data to our registered user table, that's the one we want to select, register account table. And then I'm showing the options. So we can retrieve a record, create a record, update a record, or delete a record. So right now we want to create a record because we want to post the data that our user has input into our form into the database. Now from the right hand side of the screen with the black background, you're going to want to copy that URL after the word post. So you just copy that, go back to Bravo, and we're going to paste that in here. Next up, we need to add the headers, and this is how we authorize Bravo to post to Airtable. So again, we're going to pop back over to that Airtable tab, and we're going to put authorization and paste that in there, and then bearer. And then you'll see after bearer it says your API key. So make sure you paste that in afterwards as well. Just like that, and you separate the two with a space. The next thing we need to do is click on body and JSON. And I'm just going to expand this so you can see exactly what I'm doing. But from that Airtable page, we're going to copy some of this JSON code. So you'll see the word data and a quotation mark. And we basically want to copy everything inside these two quotation marks. So it goes all the way down to here, above example resource. And you'll notice it kind of looks like two records. So you want to copy that and then paste it into this box here. Now the next thing we need to do is with the first record that we can see here, we have Tim, not the second one, just this first one. We're going to replace the actual entry with a $sign and a pair of curly braces, open and closed. And inside those curly braces, I'm going to write name. So we're just going to enter this as a test value. So it can be the same word that relates to the content that is in that column of your table. So just go ahead and do that. So in between the quotation marks here, you're going to do $, curly braces, and for this one we're going to write email. For photo, you want to do it inside the URL quotes here. So $, curly braces, I'm just going to write photo, And then in here, we're going to do $, curly braces, date of birth, $, curly braces, and contact. And then we'll go ahead and click send. And that is going to move you on to a test values tab and highlight these things in red. Now don't panic, it's not because anything is wrong. We need to complete these to get it fully set up. So under contact, you can just enter a number, anything you want. It could be a string of zeros. Date of birth, we're just going to enter something in. For email, we're going to put susan@mail.com as an example. So this is Susan. And then for photo, we're just going to put the word photo in here for now. So when we go ahead and hit send here, you'll notice the bottom of the screen, something's changed. So underneath received data, you can see that this record was received by Airtable. And if we go back to Airtable, you'll see that we now have some extra records compared to what we had before. So before we just had Tim, and now we have Susan, and we have Tim again. Now this just shows that everything is working as we expected, and that we can also post photos to the database. So now the last thing we want to do is go back to that JSON tab in the body, and we're going to remove that second record because we don't want to add Tim to our database every time we send a record. So the best way to do this without removing any brackets that you will still need, because if we take a bracket out then everything's going to break. So I'm just going to go from contact to contact, and I'm going to hit backspace to remove it. So this is what I am left with. Basically all of these brackets and curly braces need to match up for this to work correctly. And if we go to our test values, I could change this to Clara. If I hit send again and go back to our table, you'll see that we now just have that posted as a single entry. So that is all set up and working fine. I'm just going to delete those. We don't need them. So that is how you can set up a post request. So we've done that for posting a new user. I did exactly the same thing for posting a class booking. And the next thing we're going to create is how to delete a booking. So we're going to go ahead and click the blue plus button, and we're going to change the name to class bookings. Then from this drop down, we're going to select delete. And because we want to delete a class booking, we're going to go back to our API documentation screen, and underneath class bookings, we're going to select delete record. And then this is the URL that we need to paste into Bravo. So remove the example, paste our URL. Now, the most important thing here, not to forget, is we need to add something onto the end of this URL here. We need to add $, curly brace, ID in lowercase, and then curly brace to close it. Okay, don't forget to add this at the end, it is really important. Now under headers, we're going to add our authorization again. Bearer. Oops. And our API key. Now we don't need to go into the body and do any JSON, but we do need to add a test value. So we entered ID in the URL in lowercase, and we need to do the same here as key. And now what we're going to do is go to class bookings list that was generated for us when we set up everything with the Airtable wizard. And you're just going to hit send. Now what you want to see here is you want to look for the retrieved data that is .data.records square braces .id. And you'll see this green text here. We want to copy this as the record ID. Change the selected data name to lowercase id. We want to go back to our delete request that we're setting up, to our test values, where we've entered ID as the key. The value, we're going to paste in that record name. Okay, and now before I hit send, I'm going to show you class bookings. We have an entry here, so it can be deleted. And this is why we have some test entries in the database. If I hit send, you'll see received data, data deleted, true. So now when we go back to our table, you can see that entry is gone because Bravo has successfully deleted it. Bravissimo! You've set up the API connections and we've created a GET, POST and DELETE request. If you've liked this video, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons down below, and I'll see you in the next one.